Stoke have sacked Michael O'Neill after a poor start to the season, winning one game in five. I'm very surprised, to hear this news. It almost came out of the blue a little bit. And I don't know why we've done it during the transfer window. Maybe there's a replacement lined up already, but it just begs the question, if we were to sort of do it now, then we probably should have sacked him at the end of the season and get a manager a transfer window with his own players coming in. So it seems a little bit strange as to why the club have done this now, but he's been sacked. Yeah, it always felt like a little bit of a last chance saloon with Michael O'Neill. He had 1 year left on his current deal, and in previous meetings with the board, he'd basically said that he wasn't allowed to get his players in due to financial fair play, which is, I think, a fair enough reason, and that was the reason sort of blamed as to why we'd finished 15th and why we'd finished 14th in previous seasons. But this season, I think, is a little bit different. He's brought in players like Liam Delap. He's brought in players like Harry Clark, brought in players that are his own players. And if he can't really get tune out of his own players, then it just begs the question, he probably can't take Stoke City any further. So for me, it was the right decision, but it probably should have come a little bit earlier. So with Michael gone, it just leaves us to ask the question as who would come in to replace him. Sean Dyche has been in the mix, who would personally be my ideal choice. I know probably not everyone's favourite, but even despite the sort of playing style and the sort of almost Pulis-esque football, if you would call it, I think it's a little bit sort of less boring than Pulis-esque football, but I think he would bring Stoke a lot of stability. I think he would give Stoke a little bit of more sort of pressure, a little bit more sort of press in our play that we've kind of lacked in recent games. I mean, with O'Neill, he played three at the back, and there's nothing wrong with playing three at the back for me, because a lot of teams do it, and a lot of teams do it successfully. But the problem is that the teams who do it successfully play out from the back and they play fast out of the back. With our football, we sort of seem to dilly-dally on the ball a little bit with our defenders sort of not knowing when to pass to the midfield. There was no link between the sort of midfield and the defence, and it just didn't work from then on. So I think Dyche would bring a little bit more sort of stability and a little bit more sort of emphasis and fitness for sure into our play that would really help us. And I think he would get the best out of players like Jacob Brown and Liam Delap, whose goals could actually fire us into playoffs this season while there is still a chance. Another option that everyone's been saying as well is Tony Mowbray. Now, I'm not really too sure about Mowbray. He did great at Blackburn, but it took him a long time to get them going. He had 5 years there. And sort of similar in a way to the O'Neill situation, a lot of the Blackburn fans wanted him out of the club. Just seemed like it wasn't working. And I feel like if it was Mowbray, it'd be more sort of a long-term kind of vision rather than a sort of like Dyche would come in and maybe get them straight back to the Premier League. So I think it's a little bit sort of unknown territory with Tony Mowbray. So I don't know what to make of it. Other options have been said, like Slaven Bilic, but for me personally, I don't think he's the right man for the job. He did a good job at Albion, but it just doesn't seem like the right time for sort of someone like him to take over the club, in my personal opinion. With O'Neill gone, I think it's important also to remember the good he did for the club. He took us over when we were a sinking ship, heading straight for League One. He took out some dead wood out of the squad, sort of the likes of Etebo and Badu and Dyche. Brought the best out of players like Sam Lucas, James McLean in that year, kept us up, and I think that was an amazing feat. And, done some great work behind the scenes as well. We've a lot better off now in terms of our financial situation than we were in previous years, and I think a lot of that is down to Michael. But I think it's just sad that it's come to an end in this way, and I think it probably needed to be ended sooner if it was going to end like this. But yeah, let me know what you think about Michael O'Neill being sacked by Stoke City today. Very sort of shocking news, breaking news coming out, of course. And yeah, just let me know what you think. Let me know who you would get in as a replacement. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe as well, and we'll see you in the next one.